Starting in Zurich, I cycled to Paris, Brussels, Luxembourg and back home to Switzerland. On this tour I visited 5 European countries. I went to many famous places in the cities and of course I spent most of the time cycling through the countryside. The landscapes were absolutely breathtaking. I was very lucky to see many amazing sunsets and I made sure to eat some proper food every once in a while. One of the highlights was meeting new people. Overall, it was an amazing trip, but unfortunately, not everything went smoothly.
This night was horrible. I had to puke at about 11 p.m.
I'm so pissed off right now. I can't believe that this just happened.
Good morning from Brussels. Beautiful day today. 250 kilometers until Luxembourg. Let's do it.
Before leaving the city, I visited some spots that I hadn't visited the day before. I was really lucky again, the weather was just amazing. If you want to see more from Brussels, then make sure to watch the second episode of this series. Afterwards, it was time to leave the city. Brussels is a very nice place, I really enjoyed my time there. After spending a night in a hostel, I had a lot of motivation to continue my journey. During my time in Belgium, there were some things that reminded me a lot of my home country, Switzerland. The special thing about both countries is that they are both multilingual. In Belgium, the official languages are Dutch, French and German. As you can see on this map right here, most people speak either Dutch or French, the German part is very small. Brussels is the only place where there is a mixture of Dutch and French.
Call me home as the ocean throws the water to the shoreline, the blanket on the coast from the stories old. Let the truth be told, getting lost in all.
The morning passed very quickly, it was already time to eat lunch. I was in a small town, there was a cute little market. For lunch I ate a poke bowl, it was really tasty and definitely healthier than most of my other meals. After lunch it was quite warm, so it didn't take long until I had to stop again.
I quickly changed my clothes because it's really warm today and so far there's been a lot of traffic. For the next few kilometers it should finally get a bit better.
The quality of the cycle path in Belgium is very good, I think I didn't see one single hole. This allows you to enjoy the beautiful landscape to the fullest, as you don't have to look down at the ground all the time.
I'm now following this European cycling route 5 and it's such a game changer not having to check the map all the time.
As you can see on this map right here, there are many different cycle routes in Europe. I was following the cycle route 5, which starts in England and goes all the way to the south of Italy. As it crosses Switzerland, I could basically just follow this route to get home. The signage was very good, I almost didn't have to use my phone anymore. Before, I had to keep looking at my phone, which was a little bit annoying from time to time. Towards the end of the afternoon, I made it to a town called Namur. It was very beautiful with the river, even though the water was really dirty. I followed the river for a few hundred meters, afterwards I crossed the river and went grocery shopping. Then it was already time to search a spot for the night.
Let's go! So, 94 kilometers, 7 hours. Found a beautiful spot to set up the tent. Today was an absolutely beautiful day. Let's set up the tent, and I'm also really looking forward to eating dinner.
Once again, the first thing I did was to set up my tent. I'm happy with my MSR Huba Huba. It's a really convenient tent and easy to set up. Also, the quality is very good. I never had any problems with it. For dinner I ate a few nuts, some unhealthy but tasty potato chips, and a banana for the vitamins. My main dish was polenta, so I started with cooking water. The next step is to add some stock to have more flavor. I stirred a little to make sure that it dissolved quickly. Then I added the polenta. You have to be careful not to add too much. After waiting for just 2 minutes, it was ready to eat. For dessert I ate chocolate, followed by some Oreos. It was an amazing evening. I was really tired after a long day.
Good morning. I slept well this night. Today it's a bit cloudy and also quite fresh, so let's start riding.
On the second day, my motivation was not that high. It's crazy what a difference the weather can make. At some point there were a few raindrops. I decided to put away my camera to see how the weather develops. Luckily, it didn't start raining and I could start filming again. It's incredible that I had been on this trip for more than 2 weeks and I had never gotten wet. I was extremely lucky. After about 1.5 hours of riding, I quickly stopped at the bakery and ate a tasty waffle. Luckily, I still had some chocolate that made the waffle even better. My motivation was still not high, but the short break made it a little bit better at least.
Made it back to the cycling route 5, that's amazing.
Somehow I had lost sight of the European Cycle Route 5. I was glad to have found it again. As it was still quite cold outside, I decided to eat lunch in a restaurant to warm up a bit. In the restaurant I ate a large portion of fries with a burger. It was really tasty.
In the morning I had a bit of motivational low, but now the sun is shining, it's warmer, and the meal was really tasty.
Thanks to the better weather, my motivation was suddenly much higher. In the afternoon it was very hilly, which made it quite exhausting to ride. At least it doesn't get boring when it goes up and down a lot. That's something I always appreciated a lot. Towards the end of the afternoon, I had to decide whether to stick with my own route or the Cycle Route 5. My own route would have been the more direct way to Luxembourg, but I assumed that the Cycle Route 5 probably would be more beautiful. I decided to stick with the European Cycle Route, which was only about 10 to 20 kilometers longer. When I was riding in this beautiful valley, I was really glad that I had embarked on this journey. Sleeping in the tent almost every night and having limited options for cooking food is always a lot of discomfort. However, in situations like these, I always get reminded why I do this and that it's absolutely worth it. The day was already coming to an end. When I reached my destination, there was a German tank on the street that was really random.
So, 87 kilometers, 6.5 hours. I wanted to explore this path, but as you can't get any further right here, I will just set up my tent here. Another fun day over. In the afternoon my motivation was much higher and the last section was just incredibly beautiful.
I started with setting up my tent. Afterwards, I enjoyed the last few minutes of sunshine. It was a really beautiful spot. As you can see, I enjoyed it quite a bit. I made my own chair to be able to sit more comfortably. For dinner, I ate a banana, some rice cake, a small baguette with ham, then it was time to cook ramen. I really like my MSR wind burner. Cooking water only takes about 2 minutes. Afterwards, I added the ramen. It's a bit stupid that I carried these ramen all the way from Switzerland to Belgium. I had bought them more than 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, my jaw on the right side hurts a bit. That's really weird. I never had that before.
Luckily, I was still able to eat. For dessert, I ate some Oreos and a donut. I definitely ate more than enough. Afterwards, I enjoyed the beautiful evening and went to bed at around 10:30.
Good morning. I slept really well this night and I'm extremely lucky with the weather again. The goal is to do 100 kilometers today. Let's see if I can do it.
The first few meters I rode in the small town, then I was already in the countryside. It was a big contrast to the previous morning. Instead of cold and cloudy weather, it was already quite warm as the sun was shining. The landscapes were incredibly beautiful, my motivation was very high and I was enjoying it a lot.
I've heard the songs of summer singing, like a humming in the June. There's always something around the corner, something more to be found. And I'm sure the coast of California.
Wow, I'm blown away. This must be the most beautiful part of the whole tour so far, and I'm so grateful that I have the privilege to do something like that. Now it's time to eat some snacks.
I ate some rice cake, some nuts with wine berries, a pear to get some vitamins, and 2 Kinder Maxi to give my body enough calories. At that point, I'd been bikepacking for more than 2 weeks. At the beginning of the tour, I usually just ate breakfast, lunch and dinner. However, with an average of 90 kilometers per day, I burned so many calories that this was not enough. That's why I tried to eat in the middle of the morning and in the middle of the afternoon as well. I really noticed the difference in my energy levels. At that point, I made it to a small town called Bastogne. I decided to eat pizza for lunch. It was really tasty. Overall, I really liked Belgium. I enjoyed my time in Brussels and also the countryside was amazing. It was already time to say goodbye. As you can see in this clip right here, I just crossed the border to Luxembourg.
Made it to Luxembourg, let's go!
Let's do a short quiz. How many people live in Luxembourg? Is it 550, 610, 670 or 730,000 people? I give you 10 seconds to choose an answer. My guess was B, the correct answer is C. With less than 700,000 inhabitants, Luxembourg is by far the smallest country I visited on this trip. About 50% of the people living in the country were not born in Luxembourg. This fact is just mind-blowing to me. That's actually one of the highest proportions of foreign-born residents in the world. Luxembourg has its own language. Besides that, French and German are also official languages.
Take me places where the winds don't blow, so I won't let go.
After I had crossed the border from Belgium to Luxembourg, there were definitely some differences I noticed. The first thing I noticed is that it's incredibly hilly. It went up and down non-stop. It was quite exhausting to ride, but at least the hilly landscape was extremely beautiful. Another difference is that there are many benches in Luxembourg. In France and Belgium, this was rather a rarity. In Switzerland there are many benches as well, so that made me feel a little bit like I was at home.
So, goal achieved, 120 kilometers, almost 8 hours. Found another beautiful spot for the night. I'm very happy with the distance. Today was definitely the most beautiful day so far. Both Belgium and Luxembourg were absolutely amazing.
The spot for the night was very beautiful. For dinner I cooked some pasta. The first thing I did was to cook water, which took about 2 minutes. After adding some salt, it was time to add the spaghetti. Unfortunately, I had to break them in half because otherwise I would not have been able to cook them. After waiting for about 15 minutes, the pasta was ready and I had to get rid of the remaining water. Then it was time to assemble. Apparently I didn't use enough water to cook the pasta. That's why it stuck to the pot. I ate the spaghetti with pesto rosso. I was quite happy, as you can see. Once again the sunset was amazing and I made sure to go to bed early.
Good morning. I slept well this night, but unfortunately I have a little bit of headache. I hope it will get better soon. Now there's only 35 kilometers left.
I always packed up my tent first before eating breakfast. I ate an apple to get some vitamins, and pretty much every morning I ate a croissant au chocolat. In the morning the sun had been shining, but when I started cycling it was a bit cloudy. At least it wasn't cold, the temperature was very comfortable. The white markings on the trees is something I have never seen before. It's a very smart idea. I was really happy that there were only a few kilometers left until Luxembourg City.
Made it to Luxembourg, let's go!
The last few kilometers before the city I cycled with Mike. He's from the USA but has lived in Luxembourg for 15 years. I looked around the city a bit. It was much smaller than Brussels and especially Paris. However, even though it was small, it was still quite nice. I was very proud that I had completed another stage. Once again, I had really enjoyed it. In the last episode of this series, I will cycle from Luxembourg to Zurich. If you like this video, I'm sure you will like the next one as well. Once again, the landscapes were really beautiful. Unfortunately, not everything went smoothly. I put a lot of work into this series. It would mean a lot to me if you like this video and subscribe to my channel. Thanks a lot for watching, I really appreciate it, and hopefully I will see you in the next one.